Today, I'll be going over the 5 things that make Shifty the best Warzone player in the world. Coming in at number 1, and in my opinion, the reason that makes Shifty the best is IQ. Here's clip number 1, and honestly, this is probably the most insane clip I've seen from him.
He's got a recon drone. Nice. Full gassy.
Enemy biasing.
Got his gassy. You have the buy station here. I try to land and help you.
Yeah, do it.
I try to ping one. He's in the smoke. I'm landing in the smoke. Weak. One shot right in the back. One's knocked. One got killed.
Yeah, okay.
I can try lighting someone. I just got naded. Enemy from over the hill.
9 left. Keep the pressure up.
Nothing.
Gas is closing
One
in.
duo. Rest are solos. Yeah.
Genuinely, that was a crazy clip. Now let's break it down. So one thing you're gonna need to know is this was in a custom tournament with the best players in all of Warzone playing head to head. This had players like Biffle, Aiden, Swag, Adrian, and any other professional Warzone player that you can think of. So at the beginning of this clip, you're gonna see Shifty get a knock on Deuce Amir. What he's gonna do, he's gonna get shot out from behind, lay down behind this rock. Now, I want you guys to pay attention to this. Before the clip even started, Shifty had already positioned himself to where he couldn't get shot in the back. And even if he did, he could lay down, which is exactly what happened. Use that to his advantage, kept the cover. Now let's move on. So notice here that Shifty has no smokes. His goal is to try to get up Diaz Biffle here. He's gonna rotate into the zone, sees a gas mask on the floor. He can now fight in the zone and not be held out by these guys to his right. Notices there's probably gonna be a guy right here in front of him, challenges him, and absolutely smokes him. Now his gas mask is done. So what does he instantly do here? He looks on the floor and sees if he can find a gas mask. Picks up Castillo's gas mask with 2 ticks. In his brain, he's thinking, all right, what do I do here? What do I do here? Sees a guy in front of him to his left. He's gonna throw a smoke here, but watch. That gets blocked by a trophy. So he's gonna get out of the trophy's way and gonna be able to throw a smoke to be able to rotate in. Throws a smoke. Now this is where things get crazy. Right here, he throws a smoke and buys Diaz Biffle. Now what he does next is absolutely insane. Watch what he does with his inventory. Gets a smoke, throws a trophy down, knows that there's people in front of him shooting him. Now they cannot throw nades at him. They cannot throw C4s. He's good. Now he slides to the head glitch behind the portable buy station, gets a couple shots on this guy, snakes him a little bit, and continues to use this. For those of y'all who don't know, portable buy stations, when you're getting shot at, does not get aim assist. So this is another little trick and a little tip that he does to make sure he doesn't get shot at. After the trophy, watch what he does. He throws the trophy, make sure he doesn't get shot at, challenges the team in front of him, goes to his inventory. He notices he has $12,000. So notice how he goes and he buys a munition box. Why does he do this? He does this because he has no more smokes. And to be able to get out of this crazy scenario, he's going to have to use his smokes to his advantage and get mixy. He pops the munitions box, grabs the 2 smokes in front of him. Now watch this. He's not only smokes in front of him to make sure that he's able to rotate, but he smokes the players in front of him. Why? Obviously to make sure that he can rotate easily, but not only that, in smokes, they don't get aim assist. So he's gonna be a lot of a harder target to hit. Then immediately after this, he notices he still has a lot of money. So what does he do? He goes in and buys an airstrike. Shifty then airstrikes the team in front of him, which is gonna cause them to scramble, which is gonna give him maybe 1 to 2 seconds to have an advantage and get out of this crazy scenario with the gas fighting against him. Now to make this even crazier, a player decides to challenge him. What does he do? Gets in the mix in his smoke so he's harder to hit, throws a bouncing Betty to hopefully damage the player in front of him. Now he slides down the hill, absolutely breaking the guy in front of his camera. And what does he do? As he's sliding down the hill, he brings up the buy station and buys a mask so he can spend more time in the gas, making sure that he Shifty has more time to make different plays. Notice on the top left of the minimap, there's an airstrike coming, so he has to get out of his own way. Gets out of the way of his airstrike, gets a knock on Pentagon. Now the team in front of him has no idea that he's gonna be to their right. Because of the gas mask that he bought, this gave him more time to sit in the gas and to make the unexpected play. Gets a snipe on the first guy, then immediately transfers his aim to the right guy, knocks him as well, gets the full kill. Honestly, easy 1v2, but because of his IQ. From here, he rotates to the crate in front of him, notices there's a smoke on the floor, grabs the smoke, throws it to the buy station, and gets his teammate Diaz Biffle up once again. Let's break down clip number 2.
Yeah, I don't have any. I have two now. Hold on.
Yo, you have money to red, but you can't red.
Cross bus. Yeah. I'm trying to get a cubby. 20. We gotta hop over the cubby. Hop over the cubby. Okay. There's two there. Yeah, they're dying. Yeah, I hear you.
Try to hop over again.
Yeah, we need to hop up if we can. On the wall. 20.
Shifty, the vine's open to
On me. One shot.
Finish this.
Vine's open, Shifty, shield. Shit, you close.
What about the real bot? Where is it?
Closing in. Get to the
The real
new
buy
safe
is,
zone.
No,
deep
there's no
in
real
the
buys.
there.
Yeah.
You can take a car here, there's a Tesla here. You have one P. Do you have enough PDS, you think? Yeah, well, how many PDS do you got left?
Kill or be killed.
You can go to that car. You can go to my yellow ping if you want.
Yeah, maybe that's one.
Time left. Keep the
Where am I
pressure
going
on.
with it though?
I mean, throw it on the car and pray.
Well, I need to know where I'm going though after. Yeah, just take the street. Just take the street. Right here. Take the street right here. Keep going down the street. You'll be in zone.
Go down the street. You gotta go down the street. You can't red. The PDS not gonna last that long. You gotta go right. Go straight to zone. And win the
Right
game,
down that
kid.
street.
Win the game.
Press them over.
You made it to the top 5.
Go ahead, switch cheese. It's all solos. All solos. You have self. You got self. You can go and storm deep. Just
Always
play
look for
yourself.
more PDSs.
That's a solo.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I didn't see him. I was like, wait, is that him?
Let me set the stage for what this game meant. This was Shifty's team's final game. If they win this game, the tournament is over. If they lose the entire tournament. What he had to do here was absolutely insane. So let's break it down. So the clip starts off here with him in the smoke and his teammates next to him. As of right now, there's only one teammate up, and that's Diaz Biffle. He sees a guy in front of him, sees a couple guys, gets a couple shots onto him, but he gets one shot. Diaz then goes in for the trade, gets the full kill for him, but Shifty gets challenged by another player. He then throws his C4 to isolate him. He's not necessarily trying to go for the kill, but he's trying to push that player back to give him time to regenerate. Now, he disengages, sees another player to his right. He then chooses he's not really in the position to fight that, so he disengages a little bit while Diaz Biffle is in the mix. In this next fight, he made a decision here. He could have chosen to fight with D or bait him and be able to get the kills. More than likely, if he was to challenge with D, they wouldn't have won that fight. He baited Diaz Biffle and was able to get 2 knocks right here. Now, after this knock, he knows he's in a really bad position. He's in a 1v15. He chooses to disengage. Now, this is where things get crazy. Now, throughout the rest of this clip, he's trying to figure out, how do I get a win? How do I win this? I'm in 1 versus 15. I have no teammates left. How am I possibly going to pull this off? Shifty has 2 PDSs to work with here and chooses to go into the storm to try to make a play. He uses one of those PDSs in this building to try to recuperate his health. Now, this next play was a race against time. He's now losing health being in the gas once his PDS stopped working, and he's gonna make his way to this car to try to make an absolutely insane play. We slowly see his health tick down, and he barely makes it to this car in front of him. He throws the PDS onto the back of the car, which then gives him enough time to heal. He jumps in, and now he can use this car to make his way into zone. By this point, the circle is now incredibly small. What does that mean? He can now use this car to make a play in people in zone and possibly run over people, which is exactly what he does here. He's then able to hurt 2 people with his car, but then chooses to disengage to try to let those players fight it out. He then chooses to get out of the car, jumps over the little wall, and notices that 1 player has died, so it's now a 1v1v1. Kills the guy in the zone that has absolutely no idea who was there, and then waits for the last one to appear. Sees him on the floor, gets the knock, gets the kill, gets the win, and wins $10,000. If this is not the definition of IQ, I don't know what is. Now, coming in number 2 is movement. Shifty's movement, in my opinion, reminds me of Diaz Biffle's. Nothing too crazy, nothing overly flashy, but does everything he needs to get the job done.
Finish the job.
After seeing clip number 1, let's go ahead and break it down. Shifty is in a 1v3 and notices a team in front of him. Jumps onto the window and gets some shots on the first guy. He breaks armor and takes the mental note that it's time to get into the fight. Now remember, when you think about movement, I don't want you guys to just think about slide canceling around a corner. Shifty utilizes his surroundings to his advantage. He climbs up these stairs, slide cancels into the player, and then jumps back, does a little jump step, and is able to knock the first guy. Then he sees this other guy to his left and disengages down the stairs. What he does next is what I mean about utilizing your surroundings to your advantage. Instead of being an easy target and being predictable and going right up the stairs again, he goes outside, jumps on top of the car, and jumps on top of this ledge to get an advantage. The second player has absolutely no idea what's going on, goes to res his teammate, and is an easy second knock. Now, Shifty instantly begins to reload and hears this guy coming up the steps. Shoulder peeks the door, slides back, and waits for him to slide through. And what does he do here? Again, changes his angle, prones down, and absolutely smokes this kid. That last move is one of the things I want you guys to try to do in your gameplay. Proning, and then immediately after going to a jump, or as we call it, the popcorn shot, can be heavily utilized to trick your opponents. Now let's break down clip number 2.
Gas is moving. Good kill. Get hunting. Good kill. Marking the rest of that squad on your tech.
Shifty sees the guy flying in and gets a free knock. Now, I want you guys to pay attention to the top left of your screen. Notice how he has a UAV. Right as this UAV is ending, he looks up at his minimap and sees that there's a guy really close to him to his right. So watch the way he plays this. He slides around the corner, catches this guy off guard, does a little slide cancel crouch jump shot, gets the first guy knocked. Because of that, the enemy's players get pinged on the minimap. He sees that one of them is challenging him and one is still above him. This next sequence is crazy. Both of the enemy players decide to challenge him, one maybe 1 second behind him, and watch this. Shifty slide cancels into the first guy, does a prone jump shot again, and in the middle of him shooting, pay attention to the high alert ping to his left. There's a guy to the left of him that's shooting him as well. So what does he do? He gets behind the wall so the guy to his left cannot see him, gets the knock on the one in front of him, and immediately after, the second guy challenges him. He slides to the left to make sure the guy behind him cannot shoot him in the back, starts reloading in the middle of this process, again does his favorite move, the prone popcorn shot, and absolutely smokes the second guy. He then disengages to play it up and reload. He gets the full kill on the player knocked in front of him, notices his last teammate is going to come through the double doors. It's an easy kill, team wipe. Coming in at number 3 is positioning. Positioning is just the way it sounds. It's putting yourself into a position that gives you a favorable outcome to a gunfight. For example, being high ground is better than being in low ground. So let's break down some clips of Shifty constantly putting himself in favorable positions to win gunfights. So for clip number 1, let's put everything into perspective. He has a team chasing him with a car behind him, and he has a player in front of him. The player in front of him starts to shoot him, so he gets out of the car and notices he's getting pinged from behind. So as he does this, he gets back into the car, which throws the enemies off. As you can tell, things are absolutely crazy. He's getting shot at from about 5 different directions. So he throws a smoke to give himself a little bit of time to reposition. Now watch this. Not only did he reposition himself from outside of the car to inside of the car, now he puts himself in front of a wall. He knows that this is probably going to be a 1v3 or 1v4 and waits for the players to push the door. He then brings out a knife because he knows this is going to bring a lot of damage to the enemies. He throws his first knife, sees the second guy challenging. Notice how he moves slightly to the left to get out of the line of sight of the second guy. Puts one bullet into the guy that he threw the knife in, gets the knock, and then instantly disengages. This is what I mean about repositioning and positioning. He climbs up the stairs and tries to get behind the enemy players because this is probably not what they would expect. Catches the second guy rezzing, gets the knock. Then, like deja vu, the exact same sequence happens once again. 2 players push him through the door, knifes one, gets the knock, and the last guy runs away. I love this clip because it shows how repositioning can make a huge difference between good players and the best players.
And I hit one came by the staircase.
He's on me, he's on me.
Yeah.
Watch out,
Yeah, I'm probably plates.
I can tell. Got the full. Almost something. He's something. Second point top.
Gas is closing in. Get to the new system.
For this next clip, Shifty's in a $10,000 tournament against the best players in the world. Right here, all of his teammates are down. Shifty gets one kill at the beginning and puts himself into a 2v2. His second teammate then goes down. Now he's put into a 1v2 situation. So Shifty then chooses to disengage from this and reposition himself to give him the favorable advantage in this gunfight. Now he had originally knocked one and noticed that the enemy player was able to revive his teammate. Shifty then once again chooses to back up, smoke the doorway to his left, and watch what he does. He repositions, waits at the corner of the door, lays down as one player is sliding in front of him, and hip fires him, gets the knock. He instantly does not go for the full kill because he knows the second player is probably going to challenge him here. He pre-fires the door just in case, gets a couple shots on him, then turns around and gets the full kill on the knocked player. As he's doing this, he hears the left guy pushing him. So what does he do? He switches to his sub, jumps across the player's screen, repositions, and absolutely destroys the second guy. I'm sorry, but that guy literally looked like he had no idea what he was doing. Shifty then had some words for him.
Dog. Dog. Dog.
Coming in at number 4 is centering. Centering is when you put your center dot where you think an enemy is going to be. If there's one tip I want you guys to take from this is please focus on your centering. This is one of the big things that separates good players from the best in the world. So let's break down the first one.
Oh, don't worry, I'm good. Coming down.
Dude, guy named. Yo, we can forward. I got hit on that. I got to forward, bro. Live.
Come here, I got C4s on you, C4s on you.
Yeah, on your backside.
Nades on you.
Dead. Oh, God.
This is again in a $10,000 tournament against the best players in the world. He is in a 3v3 gunfight against an enemy team. His teammate live pings a person for him, so Shifty throws a C4 hoping to get some damage on this guy. In the middle of popping his second C4, he sees an enemy player slide around the corner. Notice how he throws his second C4 and instantly puts his center dot on the corner where the enemy could possibly come from. As soon as the enemy turns the corner, Shifty starts hip firing in the middle of detonating a C4. The reason why he was able to hit all those hip fires was solely because his centering was really good. The enemy then disengages and the second player chooses to challenge him. Shifty's teammate Diaz Biffle goes down to a C4 and Shifty instantly puts his center dot on the enemy player. He then wins the one-on-one gunfight and disengages. I want you guys to see how he uses this pillar to his advantage. Instantly starts healing, gets behind the wall, and then absolutely cameras the second guy. The second player thinks that Shifty is going to instantly chow him, but what does he do? He finds a different angle and look at where his center dot is. He perfectly aligns it where he thinks the enemy is going to be. He gets a knock on the second guy and knows that there's one guy left. Shifty hears the guy coming up behind him, so he slides across, putting his center dot again where he thinks somebody's gonna be, keeps the perfect centering, and shoulders this guy and smokes him. Notice how he slides to the right, starts shooting his gun, and then moves a little bit to the left to make him harder to hit by getting behind the head glitch. That is then a team wipe, and he's able to revive his teammate Diaz Biffle. So for clip number 2, Shifty's about to get 5 kills here.
Enemy soldier incoming.
Oh, he knew I was gonna peek.
He notices there's a guy behind the car, re-aims the left side of the car, gets challenged from the right side, and watch how his aim instantly snaps to the center of his screen to the right guy. Hits the guy one shot, but notices his health, so he chooses to then disengage. Pops a smoke for cover to give him a couple seconds to regen. He then goes out of the building, goes behind the truck, throws a nade on the right side, and then hears him coming to his left. So watch again his center dot. He climbs up to the truck and puts his center dot where he hears that the guy's about to come from. After that, it's an easy knock. In the middle of that gunfight, he was getting shot from his right, so he knows there's probably gonna be another one coming in here soon. He hears the guy in front of him and look at his center dot, instantly goes where he thinks the guy's about to be, and then gets the free kill. Pay attention to the top left of your minimap, there's one more there. He knows that this guy has to push in against the zone. Shifty heals up and gets ready for the next gunfight. He pops a munition box to get a couple more smokes and notices there's an enemy flying in to his right. Tries to get a couple shots on him, but notices there's a guy behind him. Again, notices centering, putting it exactly where he thinks somebody's gonna be. Gets that enemy one shot. That enemy then disengages. He instantly snaps to the right, gets a knock to his right. He then backs up to the buy station, gets himself a self-res just in case he dies here. As he pushes his left, he slides across the corner and notices there's an enemy in front of him. He puts himself to where the enemy to his left cannot shoot him and gets the full kill that he originally had knocked. Now watch this jiggle peek. He slides to the left, jiggle peeks a little bit, notices the guy's about to challenge him, and again, look at his center dot, puts it where the enemy's about to be. Sure enough, the enemy challenges and he absolutely smokes this fool. After killing that guy, Shifty smokes in front of him, and in the process of doing that, he sees an enemy slide across his screen in front of him. He then pops a Mary Poppins, gets up to the sky, but as he's coming up to the sky, notice his center dot. As he's going up, his center dot's going down to align it with the enemy. He then gets an easy kill. If there's anybody that is really good about always keeping good centering, it's Shifty. Now finally, at number 5 is Shifty's ability to 1v3 or 1v4. Even when he's at a disadvantage, he knows how to play his life and he knows how to put himself in favorable positions. So let's break it down.
Stop them together. Kill confirmed, and we located the rest of them. Loadout drop. Marking the rest of that squad on your tac map. Get hunting. Use your tac map to hunt down the rest of them.
For this clip, Shifty's teammate goes down and knows he's in either a 1v3 or a 1v4. Shifty flies across to start engaging with the enemy. He slides into the house and notices there's a guy to his right that goes underneath the stairs. Shifty then begins to chase this guy. This player had no idea what he was doing, so Shifty ends up shooting him in the back, gets the first knock. He then hears a guy behind him, so he instantly slides across the screen and shoots the guy in front of him. The enemy disengages, so Shifty chooses to turn around and shoot the guy that he originally knocked. Now, in the process of doing this, he hears a guy coming up from behind, and what does he do? He instantly turns around and puts up a portable redeploy. He then uses the redeploy to snake the guy in front of him, puts himself on a head glitch, which makes him incredibly harder to hit, and then gets the easiest knock of his life. That is 2 down, 2 more to go. Shifty looks up at his minimap, notices there's 2 other players that he's about to engage with. Gets behind cover to make sure that he has enough time to heal up. As he hears this guy pushing him to his right, he slides across his screen and gets a knock on the 3rd guy. The 4th player is closely behind him, so Shifty does the exact same thing, slides across the screen, gets this guy weak. So because he ran away, Shifty was able to get the full kill on the guy he originally knocked. That is now 3 out of 4 dead. As he gets the full kill, he looks up at his minimap and he sees the players to his left. He uses this time to reload and then re-engages. I don't think this player had a headset because he didn't even hear Shifty coming in front of him. The enemy player throws a smoke, but at that point, it was too late. Shifty jumps across the screen and kills the guy who had no idea he was coming. It's the 4, team wipe. Now let's end the final clip with a bang.
Up 9, 10.
Closing in. Relocating the safe zone.
Good dagger.
Let me give you some context. Shifty is in a 2v2 tournament. It's him and Diaz Biffle versus Soka and Scummin. These 2 teams load up into the same quads game and try to get more kills than the opposing team. During this clip, it was practically tied and every kill mattered. Shifty sees an enemy in front of him. That enemy jumps off the building and he gets a free knock. He notices there's a second guy to his right, snaps onto that player, knocks him. He gets the full on the first kid and slides across the screen because he knows this guy has self-res. The second guy, he's then able to knock, get the full kill on him. Shifty notices there's a smoke in front of him, so he wastes 2 of his smokes to get across the building to make sure he doesn't get shot at. picks up one smoke in the process, and now gets away. At this point, he is surrounded by enemies all in front of him, shooting him left and right. He then gets one shot and slides down into the river and throws a smoke to try to disengage. At this point, Shifty knows he's about to battle it out with the team. So he repositions, starts to heal up, and gets inside of one of the bathrooms. Now, this is an off angle that most people won't expect. As you see, the enemy player completely misses Shifty, runs across his screen, and Shifty's able to get a free knock. He then throws a smoke to try to give him more time. As he's running away, an enemy player comes up behind him. Shifty breaks that player's ankles, gets the knock on the first guy, and I want you guys to pay attention how Shifty has the muscle memory down to knowing exactly how long it takes for him to knock somebody. Almost instantaneously after he knocks the first guy, he disengages, dives behind cover, and now is trying to work towards the buy in front of him to buy Diaz Biffle back. If Shifty goes down here, the tournament is over. Shifty then turns the corner, throws a smoke, and in the middle of throwing that smoke, he notices there's an enemy in front of him. He hip fires during the smoke, but the enemy drop shots, so he then repositions, slide cancels to his left. In the process of doing that, switches weapons and kills this guy on the floor. I don't know what that was. Absolutely on him. He then uses the smoke that he threw before to give him cover to go ahead and revive Diaz Biffle. He gets the full kill on the guy he originally locked, but not only stays alive throughout that entire sequence, he reses his teammate and also gets 5 kills in the process. Let me know if you guys enjoy these type of breakdowns and who you want to see next. If you want to see me breaking down Diaz Biffle, click right here.